What is up, Daddy Gang? It is your founding father, Alex Cooper, with Call Her Daddy.
Hilary Duff, welcome to Call Her Daddy.
Thanks.
You've been busy.
I know.
Girl.
I know.
You have been busy.
I know.
You're on tour. You have an album coming out for the first time in 10 years.
I feel like my friends are really sick of me actually on their feed. They're like, we don't ever see you, and now we do our Instagram is just full of you. And
No,
I'm like,
the internet is Hilary Duff right now. Every single time I open Instagram, TikTok, anything, I'm like, okay, Hilary.
You're like, I get it. No. She's back. I get it.
How are you feeling about it, though?
Honestly, I'm enjoying it a lot, and I couldn't have asked for like a better welcome. You know, like everything has felt so like celebratory and like kind and like energized. Like that's just like the word that I keep coming back to, where I'm like, wow, I really didn't realize it was such an appetite, and like you never know how it's going to go. Like I really took a huge break, and the like first steps have been like a dream. So, but it's super hard. And like the back half that's not shiny is like a lot of moving parts and a lot of scheduling and a lot of work and a lot of like, you know, I have 4 kids and a family that I really like being with. So
that's what I'm so excited to talk to you about today, because I think there's probably so many women who are like, we know we can't technically do it all, but it really looks like you're literally doing it all. Also, I thought it was funny. I was researching this morning, and everyone's kind of calling this like the Hilary Duff Renaissance. Like they're like, she's back. In what ways for you has this kind of felt like a rebirth or like a reintroduction of you?
It's this like combination of like forever. My husband and I were just like, this is going to be a sick victory lap. And we kind of kept calling it that. And it's really cool to be at this stage of my life and just have ownership over myself and like what I feel about things and my opinion and what I will and won't do, and like not knowing and having to ask, and like just this whole like I'm just so much better and like clearer, and like to get to have the opportunity to go back and like celebrate things that, you know, I didn't feel like were mine anymore, is like, I'm just really looking forward to it.
Can you explain a little bit more about what you mean by like, you didn't feel like they were yours anymore?
That it's kind of seems heavier than it is, but even like thinking about what my set list is going to look like and what songs I'm going to be comfortable putting on, you know, actually doing with my body on stage, and or like singing lyrics of songs that are 20 years old and being like, how do I show up and like just make this me? And I think before rehearsals, it felt like those weren't quite mine yet, and I didn't know how to make them that way. And then I was like, just started tearing it up, and I was like, got it. I'm here to eat, and like it's easy, and I feel far enough removed from it that I'm not like embarrassed or uncomfortable. Like they're mine, and they're mine to keep. And like even the With Love dance, like that was like a like the internet lore around the With Love dance, so good, but like for me, horrifying, like absolutely horrifying. But like now I'm like, I get to be a part of it, and it's way more fun.
Which I think is life. Like I've interviewed so many people that were child stars, and it feels like a pretty prominent theme in a lot of your lives is like having enough distance from that really, really loud time in your life that everyone remembers you from.
Yeah. To be or just that everyone can dig up.
Yes. Yes.
Like, wow, I would love for like, it's a hard, you got to be tough, you know, because that is to grow up and have everybody to like recall all of your like chapters is a wild experience.
And have footage and pictures and commentary.
Receipts.
tabloids, like everything you could imagine that like everyone when they were in their awkward middle school phase
Yeah.
that were like, thank God, like I didn't post that picture. You're like, well, it was posted of me. I didn't have an option.
Correct.
And I feel like what's so underrated is like you have had decades of sustaining a career, which is very few people are able to maintain that.
I feel like that's really nice. And there's been a lot of highs and lows in my career.
Okay, well, we're going to go through all of them, but I did want to I was going to quote you because I'm like, I get it. Like, you've done moments where you're kind of like more in the spotlight versus not. But you told Vogue last year that you operate from a place of, does anyone still care about me? I wanted you to talk a little bit more about what you meant by that.
I think there being a child actor and doing something that made such a big mark on people's like literal soul created a lot of confusion and like a pretty big battle scar on me where I'm like, do people feel that like playing a role on TV that never grows up, like she's just there forever, right? And so getting into my like late teenhood into like my early 20s and even like early 30s where I feel like the battle of like frustration that like, do people love me or do they love that character? But yet everywhere I go, people, you know, say, you raised me or like whatever. And like now I'm like confident enough and like fine enough. And I think I love my new work enough to where I can like celebrate the old. You just feel like, wow, will I ever do anything that will like resonate with someone the same? And then you carry that as like a, you're not good enough or it wasn't, you know, but meanwhile, like I've had an amazing career. Like Younger was career highlight.
Love that show.
Love that show.
Good.
So fun.
So good.
People didn't really find it until it was like done. But like that was a huge part of my something that I said yes to that was really scary because I had to like be in New York and be away from my child and like, but like a huge growth period for me of like, oh, I'm doing something good and like stop measuring. Like I don't have to continue to measure all of my projects and the success that they've had.
It's interesting you say that because I feel like some musicians I've talked to, if they had a number one hit ever come out, then they're like, shit.
Yeah.
Because you come out of the gate so strong, which a lot of people are envious of, but you're like, but now that's kind of the barometer of like where I have to hit. And having a Lizzie McGuire moment, you're like, change your life, change so many other people's lives. But now it's like, I hear what you're saying. You're like, can I ever live up to that?
Yeah.
Which is why I think this era is so exciting for your fans.
Yeah.
Call Her Daddy is brought to you by T-Mobile. Okay, Daddy Gang. I am starting to think a night in may actually be the new nightlife. Where am I in my life right now? Okay, I have been working so much lately that all I want to do at the end of a long day is hang out on my couch. There is just nothing better than getting into comfy clothes, pulling out some of my favorite snacks, curling up with Henry and Bruce and Matt. You can join too, Matt, and doing absolutely nothing. And on those nights in, T-Mobile has me covered with value that keeps on stacking up the more I use it, like streaming benefits and snack perks that truly deliver. The math is mathing. With so many perks and benefits, T-Mobile is basically making staying in a lifestyle. So you know what? I love you even more now, T-Mobile, okay? My go-to recently has been popping on a reality TV show, ordering a whole pizza, and hitting next episode all night long with a side of ranch, okay? And if you have T-Mobile like I do, you won't believe how good staying in can be. Check it out at T-Mobile.com/magenta status. Disclaimer, streaming benefits included while you maintain a qualifying line in good standing. Basically today, I'm like, we need to give a little nostalgia.
Of course.
And then though I do really today want to get to know you more as the woman, Hilary Duff, because I agree you've talked so much about your younger years.
I love to visit her now.
Okay.
I'm good with it.
Okay, let's go back to people who may not be familiar. You initially get the role of Lizzie McGuire. Can you just like kind of lightly tell the story of how that audition went and how you even got the role?
Yes. So I actually had been replaced off of a TV show that was an ABC show. and they replaced me with twins so they could like work longer hours.
Okay.
And I was like, yeah, I was probably 10 years old. And I'm like, I got fired. Like, can you imagine?
Because they're not two of you.
Yeah.
That is.
By the way, when you're a child actor, you're like, you need two of me? Okay, how do I make that work? Like, you're like a dog. Like, just want to please, you know? So that was really devastating. And I was like, I want to go home. I don't want to be in LA anymore. I went back to Texas, started going to real school. And my mom called me and she was like, they want to see you for Lizzie McGuire. And I had auditioned for a bunch of Disney Channel shows before. So they were like familiar with me and called me a lot. I never booked any of them. And I was like, no, whatever. And somehow I got out to California. I changed my mind. I got to see my friends for the weekend, like my Oakwood apartment, LA friends. And I was not prepared. It was a pretty big monologue, the audition. And I used to be pretty prepared and take auditions seriously. And I was like 0% prepared. And Robin Lippens, the casting director, was like, you didn't even look at this. And I was like, correct.
You're like, sorry.
She's like, can you come back tomorrow and know this? And I was like, oh, challenge accepted. Let's go. And I worked on it, came back, ripped in there.
As you should.
She was like, what are your special talents? I was like, oh, I prefer to walk on my hands more than my feet. Like, I think I was just wacky. And I think I came in with like mismatched clothing because that was very me. And then I got it.
Wait, and how old were you when this was happening?
I think I must have been like 11 turning 12 or had just turned 12. And then we shot the pilot and then didn't shoot for a while. So I remember like not getting my hopes up. I remember my mom being like, don't get your hopes up. Remember like what can happen. Like it's exciting. We're going to be excited. But like
not getting fired at like 10 years old from a job at first, like that'll scar you. You're like,
or being the star of the TV show. The TV show is literally called Lizzie McGuire. And you're like, hope it gets picked up. And if it doesn't, like
I'm a failure.
Probably I sucked. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, like no pressure as an 11-year-old, basically, 12. Yeah. How do you think playing Lizzie as it continued, like started to kind of shape and inform your personality?
I think that she was kind of like the everybody's girl. And I also feel like I've always been that. So, and also like a little, I have this very weird mixture of like, I'm always been confident in who I am. And I think that she had that, but she was also like kind of dorky and had all these, she didn't really fit under one category. And, you know, that's why I think she was so like lovable and endearing. And I feel like I've also still kind of carry that, but I just can like dress chic sometimes.
You're like, my fashion has gotten better. Thank you very much. Lovely you, Lizzie, but I moved on. Okay. You can stay over there. I actually look chic as fuck. You do. Obviously, I'm thinking about you even just being like, oh my God, like growing up in Texas and all of this. Like then the show becomes a massive success. Mm-hmm. And you quickly become one of the most famous young women in the world at the time. Like, do you have any core memories of realizing like, oh my God, I'm now like famous. Like people know me.
Yeah, I was at the Fashion Square Mall, like about to hang out with my friends, which we did all the time. And there were Beverly Center too. There was like posters of Lizzie McGuire on the like circulating things. And I get like mobbed by kids. And like somebody that works at the mall like sticks me in basically like a cleaning closet or like some like closet where they keep supplies or like, and just like pulls me into the back and they're like, you need to call your mom or call someone to come and pick you up.
Yes. Hey mom, we forgot that like I'm basically famous now.
I'm in the broom closet of the mall. Like, can you come get me?
I'm trying to act like a normal girl and it's not working out for shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
I know.
And then after that, did you realize like maybe I can't go those types of places?
But then the other thing that was happening was like, it wasn't that cool to be a Disney kid yet. Like now you're a Disney kid and you have like this massive career. That wasn't really, it's not like you have like mad respect because you had a Disney Channel show and you were like starting to be a singer. Oh, like that was so pre everything.
Talk to me about your life at home. You become this big star. Like how did it impact your normal life at home?
Honestly, it didn't. until later. Like some things changed later, but like, but my mom was pretty strict. She had this like weird combination of like she trusted us, but she was like, you don't get special treatment because you're on a TV show. You know, like we had been out here kicking around for like 4 years pre me getting Lizzie McGuire. So like I remember she would like take my cell later when I was like 18. I remember she tried to take my cell phone away and I like sassed her so bad. And I was like, I paid the bill. She was like, absolutely not.
She's like, sit down. You're like, okay.
Yeah.
I feel like there's kind of like this known reputation you have as one of the few child stars who escaped the major pitfalls of Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel that way? Like, do you feel like you got out pretty unscathed?
Yeah. I think that I think that people look at me and think like, oh, she's had it easy maybe. And I definitely have not had it easy. But I feel okay. Like, I really just feel okay. I'm like, I did not like go crazy, I guess. And I think that a lot of that could have to do with my upbringing and feeling, you know, like I was protected when I was a child. But this industry is like really fucking hard. And it's not until you're like, you take some space away from it that you can zoom in and be like, oh, that was a weird thing that happened. Oh, how did I get through that? That, you know, there's that. And I think it's taken getting to this age to be like, give myself, like actually take some credit for how I navigated it.
What do you think for you internally? Like, not all the noise, not all the people around you. What internally did you have to tap into to kind of get through that period in your life?
So it's tricky. And again, it's been something that I've been able to like dive more into through like therapy and really being like, well, why did I do that? Or how come I feel this way? And if I, whatever, like the thing that was also cool about it is being a teenager and you're like, I don't give a fuck. I just want to hang out with my friends. You know, like I had a desire to just be like normal and be doing normal kid things or teenager things and adult things. So it was this weird, those things were like existing at the same time. And I think it was like a reprieve from not being able to like fully grow up or take the reins, was like just escaping with the normal part of my life that I could go to.
Yeah, that makes sense. You kind of have to like find your outlet.
Yeah. And I like, you know, cared about my boyfriend and just like all that other stuff was annoying to me.
Yeah. And then eventually you would deal with it.
I did.
Okay, let's go through. We're about to move on from this younger phase of your life, but I do need to know a couple things.
Okay.
Are you ready? Okay. You're like, I don't know. What are you about to ask me? Okay. Did you intentionally crash the Freaky Friday premiere?
Oh my God.
The lore around this, Hilary.
I think absolutely yes. Yeah, I was a teenager.
Wait, were you surprised when Lindsay Lohan showed up to the Cheaper by the Dozen premiere?
No. I mean, that was like my childhood feud, like nemesis.
So crazy.
I know.
So you,
I mean, I can't wait. I'm sure my publicist will be like, what the fuck are you doing? But now it's so many years later, like, who cares? It does not matter. Also, like, Lindsay came up to me at a club once and was like, are we good? And I was like, we're good. She was like, let's take a shot. I was like, okay.
It was amazing.
But also, like, Chad Michael Murray invited me. Why? I don't want to start any more stuff. But, like, he was like, you should come with me. And I was like, probably I should.
Mm-hmm. Honestly.
I mean, what was I, like, 6? No, I think I was younger than that.
The
15?
millennial girls are screaming at their TVs right now. Next. Is it true that you had military training for your role in Cadet Kelly?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
They really took it that serious.
Oh, yeah.
I just need you to know that I literally bought.
I think I could still do like a rifle thing. You got a rifle in here?
Oh no! But
You're
wait,
like, no,
but
we definitely don't.
You remember?
I think I would remember some of the like tap tap, how you like handle it and like flip it around, and it was basically like baton kind of, but with there was baton ribbon in that, right?
Batons.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I remember.
Yeah, we were at a dance studio in Toronto. I remember, and like Christy Carlson Romano and I would like walk from this hotel that they put all the like actor kids up in Toronto and go to this like dance studio down the street. And it was really intense.
That movie was
we were doing
so
our
good.
own stunts, girl.
It was so good. I remember I like bought cargo pants and like was trying to be like that vibe. And I was like, what am I trying to do? Like I was in Pennsylvania, like literally trying to be you. And I was like, I need to stop. Okay, next. This is one of my favorites.
Oh.
You had an on-screen romance with Penn Badgley in Gossip Girl. I will never forget where I was when I found out Miss Hilary Duff was going to be in season 3 of Gossip Girl. I was shook.
Season 3?
Season 3. I know. I looked it up because I forgot there was like 90 episodes per season. How were you approached for the role and like why did you want to do it?
I was approached by the creators of the show and they were just like, we would love to have you on Gossip Girl. And I was like, I love Gossip Girl. And yes. And by the way, I grew up with Penn Badgley.
You did?
Yeah. So I grew up at this like apartment complex called Oakwood Apartments, and he was a Lakeside kid. But sometimes we would like all hang out. It'd be like if you went to Campbell Hall, but someone goes to Oakwood and you like all.
And was this like little actor vibes or just like normal kids and you just happened to know
Some kids were normal. Most of them were actors.
Okay. So you were like, you knew him immediately when you stepped on set.
Yeah. But honestly, that was a tough. I think they were kind of all sick of each other by the time I got there. It wasn't like, oh my God, we're hanging, it's fun. I was like, oh, I'm showing up to a job and...
Right. You're like, tension is pretty high right now.
It felt pretty high, yeah.
We need to talk about the threesome that shocked the world. Because when I tell you that threesome, I was like... To those who don't remember, it was Dan, Vanessa, and you.
Yeah.
And the world was so pissed. Do you remember the world got really pissed?
No.
Because they were trying to force the Dan and Vanessa romantic vibe. And we were like, stop trying to make it happen. It never should happen.
Oh, okay.
And then I think you were in the threesome, like hanging out in the corner. And Dan wasn't like, he was going for Vanessa more.
I need to rewatch this.
I was going to say, do you know, can you tell I've watched this like a million times?
Amazing. I was getting like the shaft.
You were getting the shaft because it was like Dan and Vanessa like finding their romance. And you were like, Dan, like, why am I even here?
And you're like, I'm the famous one. Wasn't I like a famous actress?
You were a famous girl in it.
But I have to tell you something funny that happened. And sometimes this happens when I'm in Europe. And like Lizzie McGuire happened later after my music in like Europe.
Oh.
Yeah. And so I wasn't like totally known for Lizzie McGuire there right away.
Okay.
It was more like my music stuff. And then some people, I think Lizzie McGuire got huge there eventually, whatever. I was in Paris not too long ago on a girls' trip with 2 of my best friends, and my bag didn't make it. And the girl at the airport was like, are you from Gossip Girl? And I'm like, yeah. And I get obsessed when things like that happen. So sometimes like weird Gossip Girl fanatics.
Wait, that's so good.
Isn't that funny?
You must be so happy in that moment. You're like, yes, I am from Gossip Girl.
Yeah.
I don't remember what my name was. I don't remember what my lines were, what my scenes were, but I was there.
I don't remember what my name was.
Oh, that's so fun. Dude, that fandom is so crazy.
I know. I was like, so can you get me my bag quickly?
Yeah, because I was like in Gossip Girl. They're like, is that Lizzie McGuire? You're like, no. Gossip Girl. Honestly, so good. Okay. I heard that the actor who played Ethan Kraft invited you to his high school formal in real life. Mm-hmm. Did you go?
Yeah.
Okay.
I went to a lot of high school formals.
And at that point, you're famous.
Mm-hmm.
How did that work?
The school was really excited that I was there. And I was just like, yeah, I'm excited to be here. I didn't go to high school or middle school.
You're like, I'm taking it in.
Yeah. I'm like, look at all these people grinding on the dance floor. Me too. Let's go.
Did people leave you alone?
Like, I think enough.
And also you going with the Ethan Kraft character is kind of a mindfuck because people were probably
we went as like a group.
Okay. So it wasn't like.
No.
Okay. And did you guys ever have a thing behind the scenes? Okay. No. Ethan wasn't your vibe.
But he did have a parrot that scared me at his house.
Okay.
Yeah, I showed up to the house and like I didn't know that I was like standing behind a giant bird cage, and the parrot like literally punked me and was like, boo! And I was like, oh my God. And like the parrot like knew how to like scare.
Ethan. Good old Ethan. I'm like Ethan and Kate. Okay. Were you and Aaron Carter already dating before his cameo on Lizzie McGuire, or did that like bud on that set?
We weren't dating. Also, this is where like all this stuff started. There was no social media to be like, who was dating who, right?
Oh my God. Yeah. No.
So you just take people's word for it,
Yes.
and then like people get mad at you.
Wait, why?
I mean, if you're like Lindsay Lohan or me, and he's like probably dating both of us, like, you know what I mean?
Oh, I see.
I
see. Like you couldn't
there
just put
was
up an
no way to,
Instagram
like-
story.
No.
Well, we're clarifying now.
Also, texting was like pushing 3 buttons
T9.
to get the yeah.
Oh my God, you and Cinderella story, like, hey, what's up today? And
So
it takes
I
you
just
9
filmed
hours.
like a social, like one of the
Like a TikTok.
of that doing something for something else, and we're sitting there trying to get the LOL to come up, and I'm like swiping at the screen, and someone was like, "You need to stop doing that." It's what this like old flip phone, cell phone.
To get LOL, you have to be like 1, 2, 3,
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's so crazy.
I called my son downstairs, who's 13, and I was like, "I just want you to watch what this used to be like for us."
He's like,
he was
Mom, I
like-
don't care.
He's actually so sweet, and if he doesn't care, he acts like he does.
You're like, look what mommy had to do. That means
Yeah.
like we were dedicated. If you had a text that you wanted to send on T9,
I know.
if you sent a paragraph, you were in love with someone.
No, I know. It was like that was a lot of effort.
That was a lot.
And what about when you would make a typo and like have to go?
And then you have to
you're
go
like,
back and the whole
it's
thing.
over.
No. It was
Yeah.
dedication through and through.
Okay, so sorry. Back to Aaron Carter.
Yes.
I had met him at his birthday party. I got invited to his birthday party. I'm telling you, the Olsen twins were there. Who else would have been there? I thought it was going to be like this huge list I could get you excited by.
You're like,
but it was the Olsen twins.
okay, yeah. So that's all that matters.
Me.
We're like happy.
Maybe Amanda Bynes was there.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean, it was like
the OGs.
Mhm.
Oh my God.
at his
Okay.
birthday. So I met him there. There was like some cute sparks. And then I think I pitched the idea of having him come on the show. And then we started dating pretty soon after that.
I need everyone to go rewatch because I just did it this morning
was
while
so
I
cute.
was putting my makeup on. The I want candy moment where you and Miranda are in the corner
Uh-huh.
and you keep doing this thing where you're like putting your hand in your hair.
Why?
You know, it's so good because you can tell you like kind of like him. And he's like, I want candy.
In a full silver jumpsuit?
Full silver jumpsuit. Your hair's like, and then your hair's all curled
Crimped,
up. And crimped. And you keep going like this when he comes over to you. Hilary, it's actually, it's like an actual landmark on the internet. Like I need everyone to go watch it because it's so cinematic also. It like holds up. It was amazing. Okay, good to know. Okay, last one. Lizzie McGuire movie. It's important that you know, like to this day, peak cinema. Like also back to you getting fired for not being a twin. Hi, hello. You got your revenge because you ended up playing 2 characters.
Yes, my 4-year-old is very like, how? But how?
Confused.
How did you do that? I'm like,
You're like, don't worry. Okay, wait. So have they seen the movie?
yes, my 4-year-old just watched it on a plane. I know. And when it was over, she just goes, she was sitting next to my assistant and she was like, again.
No. All of us. She's literally all of us again. Do your other kids like the movie?
Banks is like a Lindsay Lohan stan.
No.
Yeah. No, honestly, Banks is like my number one like cheerleader to the max. So she obviously like doesn't know any of that stuff. I know. So it's
Actually amazing.
Yeah.
What is their favorite project of yours?
I've not asked that. I don't know.
You don't know.
No.
Have you showed them everything?
No, I'm not like, let's go down, everybody sit down.
I
Stay
forget.
away.
I forget that it's like
Time to
not
go.
cool of a mom to be like, now let's watch my next project. But for me, I'm like,
No.
they haven't seen Cheaper by the Dozen.
I think Luca probably has seen
Okay.
Cheaper by the Dozen. I think he was probably more interested in that because it was like boys and frogs and like football and, you know, things like that. But they've seen some of it. My same assistant put on like Bunked the other day. I know, and I was like, you should probably be putting on Lizzie McGuire.
You're like, what are you doing?
Bunked?
You're like, you're a traitor. What is this? Turn on Cinderella Story now. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we need to know when they actually
My
see
4-year-old has seen parts of Cinderella's story, and she's basically like, can we just get to the end with the dress? And she doesn't understand the mask and how he didn't recognize me with that mask on. I know.
He's like, that's you, mommy. And you're like,
yeah,
okay.
she's like, but how would he not know? And I was like, no, I know. That's the age-old question, babe.
That's the best part. That's the best part of the whole thing. Okay. Thank you for going down memory lane with me. That was very fun. You gave us all we needed to know. Call Her Daddy is brought to you by ZipRecruiter. Daddy gang, I'm going to set the scene, okay? You are deep in the dating apps. You're starting to lose hope. And then suddenly, there he is, 6'3", blue eyes, photos with a cute puppy, allegedly has a good job. And his prompt answers, they're actually low-key giving some personality. He checks all the boxes. But then you go on the date and the reality, he's 5'9", unemployed, and the dog was his ex-girlfriend's that they share together. Sometimes you just don't know what you're getting into, okay? But if you're looking for a job, that is not the case on ZipRecruiter. Boom. ZipRecruiter includes all of the important info like salary and benefits upfront, so you can decide if it's worth your time before you hit apply. The best part is you're not just endlessly scrolling. ZipRecruiter actually sends you great job matches within minutes, and you can apply to most of them with just one click. Plus, most applications on ZipRecruiter are viewed within 48 hours, so you're not stuck refreshing your email and spiraling. That's why it's the #1 rated job site based on G2. Over 172 million people have used ZipRecruiter to find their next job. Why not you? You can start finding jobs right away at ziprecruiter.com/CHD. Go to ZipRecruiter and get all the info you need to land an amazing job. Just go to this exclusive web address, ziprecruiter.com/CHD right now to get started. Again, that's ziprecruiter.com/CHD. I mean, you started working so young. You were like 11 years old and you lived so much life at such a young age. How did that impact what you were looking for and what you were ready for in your 20s?
Oh gosh, I was always like a relationship girl. So I was in like long-term relationships my whole life, really. Dating was not easy for me. And so around that time I met Mike. I met my first husband, and we had so much fun. And that just felt like a really solid, like, place to land, you know?
Because you were 22 when you first got married.
Yeah. So I was like 19 when we met, and we got married really young. And then I had Luca so young. And I think I was like I always knew I was going to be a young mom. I always wanted to be a mom. I always wanted a lot of kids. So that was really, it was major. I mean, that was a crazy time, like to be pregnant at 23, 24.
How did you know you were ready for that with your career?
I didn't care about my career at that point. Mike was playing hockey. I was like going to live with him for like months at a time, wherever he would play. And we were just like having fun, and I didn't really care that much about my career.
Yeah. Having been so young and lived so much life, like what did it mean to you when you had a child? Like when you had Luca, like did it change everything for you?
Yeah. Big time. I was so excited to have him to focus on. My life had been like so about me, and like I didn't want all of that. I wanted, I think, just something that felt like tangibly mine to hold on to and to focus on. And yeah, it was really fun. It was also really confusing. I had not a single friend who had a baby or was pregnant, because obviously I was so young. My friends were like, "Are you serious, teen mom? What are you doing?"
Wait, can you talk about that? Because I think that's like very relatable, where a lot of my audience is either the girl that is having the baby that none of their friends are at that stage, or the reverse where all their friends are having kids and they're not. Like, how did that impact your friendships?
Well, my friends were all going out and stuff, and I was like, I'm not doing that anymore. Yeah. And that was kind of hard, but I didn't really care about that as much. It was just I think all the physical changes were a big deal for me. I think I gained like 50 pounds. I was pregnant with him, and I'm 5'2". So that was like a wild, just like, oh my God, what has happened to me? But I'm trying to think. One of my best friends, we've been friends for 20 years now. I remember she walked into my door late, and I was like, I think you expect everyone to get it when you have a baby and no one gets it. And you're like like all of a sudden I'm on a schedule. And like, if you don't know what it's like to be on a schedule because you don't have like a family yet, 20 minutes late, I'm like, this isn't like us a year ago. This is me now where like like nursing a baby is not just like, oh, you're like, my milk's coming in and I've got to get this out. You know what I mean? And then the baby goes down for a nap. And if that doesn't happen, I get not a single minute to my day. You know what I mean? So like looking forward to seeing your friend and then them being late, you're like, it's over. We can't hang. And then also the nerves of like, now I would be like, come, it's all good.
But it's your first kid.
Your first kid.
You didn't know what you were doing.
Yeah, you're just nervous. So my friend, the part of the story was that my friend like watched me like nurse my baby. My boobs were like huge and it's all like clunky and new and whatever. And she texted me and she was like, it's crazy to not recognize you. And I was like,
oh my God.
I know. And later I was like, you hurt my feelings so much by saying that. But I know you didn't mean it. Like it must look insane, right? Like I'm like nursing a baby and we've like grown up together and now this like crazy thing happened.
It feels like you're like a new person to her. And really all you probably needed that moment is to feel like
we could just like eat a salad and have a hang.
Yes. And like not feel like you're this outsider because everyone in your life is
I'm like,
still
I want to
clubbing.
hear who you just hooked up with.
Yes.
And I wanted like things to be normal, but nothing's normal.
Right. Can you also share a little bit more about like how your body image was affected by pregnancy? Because I think that's like, I have never had a kid and I would love to have kids at one point, but I think for women it's so hard because it's like you're expected to be everything for everyone and you go through this like extreme change in your life.
Mm-hmm.
And women then it's like the bounce back thing and what do you look like? Like how did you manage all of that?
I don't know because I dealt with a lot of I remember being I think in Mexico with my mom or something, like 4 months after I had Luca, and we had like a private home there that we were staying at, and a paparazzi got a picture, and they were like, Hilary debuts post-baby bod, and I was like, babe, I'm not debuting anything. You're taking a picture of me at a private house when I think I'm with my family and my baby, and like it's horrendous. So that's like so messed up. And I feel like it's getting better. And as I've had subsequent kids, like you're just like, oh, I recognize this. I know what it is. It's hard to get through this phase, but it's all like, it's all fleeting. You know what I mean? And so the more times I've done it, the less like weight it has with like dealing with your body changing and you kind of, normal people don't have to like have the noise, but you're sensitive. It's really hard. You look different, forever. You're like feeding a child and you're supposed to know exactly what to do and you don't know exactly what to do. And things don't always work out the way, the pressure to feel like a natural mother, like is a lot, you know?
You had mentioned, I think that you, like nursing for you in the beginning was difficult.
Mm-hmm.
And again, like as women, if it doesn't go exactly as they tell you on the internet and according to plan, like sometimes there can be like shame around that. Like, how did that impact your self-esteem?
I still could cry thinking about like just not being able to be. You want to be everything for your kid because you grow them and you birth them and they're yours, and you watch, reels of like people just nursing their baby in public and it being so natural, and like it just wasn't like that for me. And every time you like we would like weigh, this was with Towns mostly, but like she wasn't gaining weight and I'm trying to like nurse her literally round the clock. And that's my fourth kid. Like, just supplement. What are you doing? Like, and you're just like, I was so stubborn about it. I wanted it to work out and it didn't. And like, then you're 2 weeks out of like not nursing and you're like, yes, this is the best freedom ever. But in that moment, you're like, how will I ever cope with this? Why can't I be good at this? Luca, I nursed him the most. It was easier then. And like down the line, each child got less and less and less. And now I'm like, who cares? But in the moment, it's like you're so consumed.
Yeah.
And I think by design, right? Like we're designed to take care of our child by feeding them from your body. But like guys have to do one thing one time. That's what my husband says. He's like, I did one thing one time and like you have to do all of these things.
Right. And then it's all on you.
Yeah.
Which is a lot. And I even have friends I know that will be watching that are going through that phase right now, that it's like, it is helpful to hear from someone so many people look up to and grew up with, that they're at a similar stage right now where it's like hearing other women talk about it, I think is like half the battle, because it is so isolating. And to just hear you even say like, it actually got better as I just kept going. Because even if it didn't actually get better, I got better at handling how hard it was, which is life, right? Speaking of hard things, so you're in a different place than your friends. You're a young mom. Mm-hmm. There's scrutiny online, your body, you're figuring all this out. And then you go through a divorce.
Yeah.
And your child is
not even two.
Mm-hmm. Without, obviously, I know you have a co-parenting dynamic and I don't want to speak at all negatively about him. Mm-hmm. How did you know that it was time to walk away and that the marriage was over?
Oh gosh. It just got to a point where it wasn't gonna be. Like we just, I think he was good with it because I was like, here's this, like, and he was like, great. Like this was before conscious uncoupling was a thing. And my parents went through such a bad divorce that I was like, calling it made it really painful. But like, we're not together anymore. So obviously it was bad enough that it just wasn't working. And that was a really tough call because we had a not even 2-year-old kid. And I remember doing everything in my power to like have it be peaceful and have us hanging out and spending time together. And every time we would, trade, it wouldn't just be like a drop-off pickup situation. We would like go to the park and hang or go have a meal. It was really important to me to do it in a way that Luca could feel like comfy. I can't remember the exact time I was like gonna call this, but it happened pretty fast. It was just, it was it wasn't working anymore. Mm-hmm. But I remember the one thing that was really hard about it was like processing that it was happening and it was going to happen and going through all of those emotions. And it was a really scary time to just not want to fuck up your kid. You know what I mean? You put like all of your stuff aside and I had to like deal with all of that later to just make sure that like he was okay. And then, you file for divorce and TMZ literally has like an office at the LA courthouse. So they see every single paper that goes through. So like within 50 minutes, they're like reporting. And then you have to like process it alongside with the world,
I did not realize that about TMZ. That's actually insane.
Yeah.
But like, when do you think and how did you do it in terms of like almost like mourning what you thought your life was going to look like? I think is very relatable. And then you kind of don't have control over it. You had to make a decision for you and your family and your kid. Like, when do you think you were able to actually mourn that loss, essentially?
I haven't ever thought about that. I think probably when I started like dating again, and and like my divorce was finalized and we were, co-parenting and stuff, like I think it was just something. I had a lot of therapy. Like that was a very helpful tool to help like confront the feelings that would come up, I was 26, 27. No, I was 27, 28. And that's like such a crazy time, like that's a very fun time of your life. And I started to like allow myself to have fun through something really painful. And I feel like that's actually a very heavy theme in my life. Like this record, there's a lot of like heavy themes disguised as like joy because it's pop music. And I feel like that is a huge part of like how I operate. Like this big thing can be happening over here and it's really hard and it's a struggle and I'm going to sort it out. And sometimes I might push it down and deal with it later, or like I'm going to be tackling it right now. But like I genuinely am like such a happy person that I seem to be able to like get through things.
That's how you clearly survive those hard moments, right? You're like, I'm going to choose to see the positive in life to keep it moving.
Also, I think I knew from my parents' divorce that like I was going to show my kid that you got to like fight for your happiness. And I knew that it was going to be better to do it when he was younger than it was going to be when he was like 5 and aware, or 8 and aware. And then kids put like a whole different element of like guilt on themselves for like their marriage not working out. I was like, if Luca cannot remember this and have 2 lives that exist that he can be happy in and feel like secure in, I think we're winning.
Yeah. What do you think overall? Because I know you're saying you're a positive person, which I think is like a great lesson for people. But for you, if someone is going through a divorce right now, like, can you describe your lowest moment and then how you got out of it through that to anyone who's maybe at that low point right now?
1, you have to have a therapist. You have to be talking. You have to be processing the feelings. And you have to stand up for yourself. I think that was just the thing. I was like, I have to just stand up for myself. I have to. And the same thing could have been going on for him. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm not just like, oh, I up and left. Like, it was a collaborative thing that needed to happen. But you got to fight for yourself. And it doesn't matter that you have kids. Your kids are going to be okay. You know what I mean? You just have to show them that like you also matter. I think that was a big thing for me, is like when you have kids, you kind of become so all consumed by them and they get your everything. And it was important for me to not let that be a factor, because a 2-year-old can't decide that and know what's, you know what I mean? So
it's really good advice. It's like you matter too. And actually by showing.
But once you become a mom, your guilt becomes so thick that like you don't actually, there's like this part of your brain where you're like, yeah, I'm still in here and I'm still me. And then there's like this huge shadow over it with like, but everything for the family and everything for your kid. And, you know, and that's a good, I think, again, it's by design, but it's a constant conversation to like choose yourself and choose something, you know, that you enjoy outside of family life and kids.
Because eventually what you're also showing them is like you're leading by example, because then they will choose themselves, hopefully, if they're ever in that situation, because they're going to have watched you do it.
I think that's absolutely right. Like I had to go drink a martini last night instead of stay home with my family.
It's just the
and
little
I've been working
thing.
a lot and I try to still give them everything, but like I had to have that dirty martini last
Mom
night.
needed it. They're not going to blame you, Hilary. I love it. Okay, so you eventually start dating. You get out of this marriage, you start dating, and then you eventually meet your now husband. Should we call him Matthew? Matt? What should we call him? Matthew. Matt.
I call him Matthew when I'm like talking about him. I don't know why. It feels so sophisticated.
Matthew. My husband's name is Matthew too.
Oh.
Okay. How did you guys meet?
We got set up from my A&R person. I was at RCA for a nanosecond, and my A&R person there set us up on like a work date.
Okay. And was it an immediate connection or was it like a slow burn?
It was pretty immediate, but like we kept it like we weren't like outwardly flirting, but I was like, wait, this person's so fun to talk to. And our meeting was like 2 hours long. I know.
Sick.
And then I was like, oh my God, I've got a child at home. I have to go. But we were just talking like music and, you know, taste. And like, I was a quarter of the way through like making a record, and it was just, he was definitely cute. And then I found out like a month ago that he sent an email that he found and sent it to me. And he wrote his manager and it was like 2 hours with Hilary. I think I'm in love.
You're like laughing, but you're also like, I literally felt the same way, but I didn't put that in writing. Wait, that's amazing.
I know.
So you both felt it immediately, kind of.
Yeah. And I think we were like flirty, but not like, you know, when there's just like a ping pong like vibe that's happening, but you're not like, is this person just like this fun to talk to? Or like, are there feelings?
Yeah.
It was like that. And I was going to Sweden for like half a month or something to work on some music. And we were like chatting during that time. And then I came home and was like recording 2 songs that he had written. And there was he was very sweet. I was like sick for one of them, and he had brought me like all these like honeys and teas and cough drops. I know. And then.
And you guys hadn't hooked up at this point yet?
No. Mm-hmm. Nope. We hadn't hooked up yet. And then he asked me to be his Valentine. I know, but I already had plans with Luca. And I was like, sorry, I can't because I have a date already. And then I just like took a picture of Luca and sent it to him. And he was like, okay, I accept.
Fair.
Great. So I think we had like a date maybe a few days after or a week after or something. And it was great. But he was so nice to me. And I remember being like after a few times we had hung out, I was like, he's just so nice. That's not really a thing.
So you thought it was like almost a red flag that he was too nice?
I think I was just like not ready to accept all of that yet. I was like coming out of that, like a long relationship, a divorce. Like I was just like chaotic.
Yeah.
I think I needed some chaos first.
Yes. Meeting a nice guy that's actually going to treat you well. You're like, wait, can you pause for 2 seconds?
Yeah.
Let me get
I'll
my
be
shit
back.
together and I'll come back.
Yeah. Totally.
Okay, wait. So who made the first move?
Him.
Okay.
Then I broke up with him.
Okay, hold on.
Okay.
I feel like there's so much you guys have said, like very on and off again. You broke up with him, then didn't he break up with you? Like,
yes.
Can you kind of just take me through what the hell happened?
Yeah. So, okay. So I don't know how long we dated, maybe like 3 months or something.
Okay.
Really, honestly, we had a bunch of fun during that time. And then I was like, gotta go. You need to go like handle. He had some personal stuff he needed to work on. I was like, I have a child. Like, I don't know what excuse I use, some bullshit excuse, but I was like, sorry. I know.
Bye. You're literally perfect. I gotta go.
Yeah.
Hilary. Okay.
So that was like maybe 6 months separation. And then how did we? Okay. He's also obsessed with, do you know the band Dawes?
No.
Okay, Dawes is this amazing band. They're like his heroes, and now they're like his best friends Taylor is married to Mandy Moore.
Okay.
And I've known Mandy Moore my whole life, but like we were never running in the same like friend circles. Mm-hmm. But I would like see her at like TRL or like, I know. So
throwback.
Know each other, but like aren't really friends.
Right.
And so we hadn't spoken in a long time. And he texts me out of the blue and he's like, Taylor and Mandy married. And but we didn't know them yet. We weren't friends with them yet. He's just like creepy updating me on their life because he's so obsessed with Dawes. And I will never forget. I was pulling out of like a grocery store parking lot and I almost wrecked my car. I was like, wait, am I actually getting this text right now? And then it was like boom, 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 boom.
We're back,
baby.
Oh
yeah. And then we were together for like 3 months. Things were like very surface and I didn't like that. I was like, I think maybe because I broke up with him, he was like, is she
Gonna do it
stable
again?
enough? Like, I don't know. And I think coming from like also a broken household, I was like, let me push this guy and try to poke all the holes in it that I can to see if he's gonna like stick around. Do you know what I mean?
Relatable, yes.
And so we go to New York, and I'm like on a work trip, and it was like a wine event where I had to like basically drink wine all day and like host like a dinner party, like not a dinner party, but like a garden rooftop party.
Oh my God, what a great
So fun,
job.
except for like, you know, those press days where you like basically don't eat.
Yes. And then you're drinking.
And you're just talking to people and you're like working, but
yes.
You're like, by the end, I was like,
You're seeing stars.
2 sheets to the wind.
Yes.
Yes. And then we go to dinner and it was like an omakase and I had more wine, whatever. I pick up some fight. We get into it. I don't even know exactly what I said, but he left the next morning. I know. Yes.
Just up and laugh.
Uh-huh. No, I mean, we like had a discussion and he was like,
bye.
Mm-hmm. He kind of like hit me with his bag on the way out the door and left the door open. We were at the Greenwich Hotel and the doors don't like automatically close there.
So it's like an awkward like.
And I was like, did you just leave the door open? He's like at the elevator, literally. I know.
The drama.
I know.
He's like, I'm leaving. You left me once, I'm leaving you. It's my turn.
I think that it leveled the playing field in a really good way. But then he wouldn't speak to me because he's a crazy Gemini. And I was like, I just want a moment to like say, I'm a Libra. I need balance. That was like a crazy night when that's not really like who I am. So I was just like, I want to genuinely like say sorry. You don't have to like, this is not me like pleading to get back with you. I need to like just make it right and like genuinely like apologize, whatever. Wouldn't speak to me. Then that made me mad. And I was like, literally, it's been a week. And then I text him and I was like, your guitars will be at the guard gate. Pick them up at this time. He must have gotten them. We didn't really like talk, whatever. And then he words with friends me like a few months later.
You're lying to me right now.
And I was like, wait, again, almost wrecked my car. I was so excited.
Wait, words with friends is also, why did I also have that with an ex where we would like kind of communicate that way? And you're like, what are we doing? Just pick up the fucking phone and call each other.
I know, but it's kind of fun.
It is. You get the
and
notification.
He's so good with words that I was like, I mean, obviously I always get beat.
Right. But you're like, okay, here we go.
Yeah. And that was right before my 30th birthday. So he was like at my 30th birthday, which was so nice. And it was like this really lovely moment where I like looked around my party and I was like, everyone that is here like means so much to me and has been like such an important part of my story and my like growing, you know, and it's not like a 70th birthday, but 30 is a big deal, you know? So it was nice. He was there for that. And then literally we were going away. Where's the place with all the red canyons, like in Utah or something?
Yeah.
Amman.
The Amman. Yeah.
So we were there, and I remember on the way back, we're on the airplane, and I was like, when do you want to have kids? And he was like, probably like 35. And then I was pregnant like 2 months later. And I was like, gotcha.
Oh, wow. Okay, wait. I feel like one of the themes in your album is abandonment wounds.
Mm-hmm.
And to have this be on and off again, and then to finally realize like this is your person and he realized you are my person. Like, how did you work through those wounds? Because it's hard. And I feel like a lot of women listening will be like, wait.
Honestly, I think what worked was me just trusting him. And that's just time. Really a lot of time. Obviously, 3 pregnancies is a lot on a relationship. And especially one, or like, I feel like I come with a lot of like baggage. And I think just that he's willing to like really be there and shelter my emotions and my story. And he just kept showing up over and over. And I was like, cool, that once I could get through that, like now we get to really have like the fun. You know what I mean? Like, because I just fully trust him. And that was so hard to get to that place. And there was no secret recipe, but just time and trusting my gut that like I made a good decision and that it's real and that like a person actually just cares about me. Like it's really hard to accept that for some reason.
But how beautiful that then he proved it.
Yeah. Over and over again. Like he rides really hard.
And it's really cute. You were pretty candid about saying like you didn't know if you wanted to get married again after everything you had been through. Like, how did you change your mind?
Well, I always knew I wanted more kids. And I knew he'd be an amazing dad. Once I finally introduced him to Luca, it was around Halloween and he like showed up as like head to toe Ninja Turtle. I know. And I was like, oh my God.
That's really cute.
That's so
He's
cute.
leaning in.
He leaned in and he was just really, really patient knowing that I was like not ready to introduce him for a long time. When we became parents to Banks, I was like, oh, we're good at this. This feels right. And then I always knew he wanted to get married and he's like kind of a traditional guy like that. And I don't remember when the time was, but I always would be like, we can get married at 60. We can be like old and all of our kids can be there. And he would be like, okay, he wasn't like ever asking me, but we would talk about it sometimes. And then randomly we were in New York shooting Younger and I sent him a picture of a ring that I really liked. And I was like, maybe I could see this on like my young, cute hand and not my like old 60-year-old hand. And then he proposed like 2 months later. So sweet.
Call Her Daddy is brought to you by Pandora Jewelry. All right. Celebrate your unique story with Pandora Jewelry, crafted with meaning and exquisite artistry. Daddy Gang, Pandora really comes through when it's time for a good gift, okay? Whether you're picking out something for your partner or you're just treating yourself because, you know what? Why not? Why not? You deserve something, right? There is something for everyone, from lab-grown diamonds to personalized engravings and the cutest little charms. There are so many ways that you can make a piece feel like you. It's one of those gifts that really feels thoughtful and from the heart, and Pandora's rings, bracelets, and necklaces are so easy to mix, stack, and style so you can wear them different ways and constantly change it up. It is truly so special to wear something that actually means something to you. I feel like every time if I look down at it, I'm like, oh, I'm smiling. This makes me think of Matt, right? Because he gave me it. I'm also super into being able to personalize anything that I'm wearing, especially engravings. Like, how cute would it be to have Henry and Bruce's names engraved on a necklace? Matt? Matt? Are you watching? Take notes. Every day is a chance to be love. Let Pandora Jewelry remind you that love starts with you. Shop in-store or online at pandora.net. Listen, Daddy Gang, winter is here. I know it's freezing out there, and I know the sun is setting insanely early, but hear me out. Just because we have to throw a couple extra layers on doesn't mean we can't still enjoy ourselves, right? And that includes finding some time to crack a few claws with our friends. Whether you're at your favorite dive bar, warming up in the crowd at a concert, or just having friends over to, watch a football game, the best winter nights are really just about doing something together. Personally, I love getting together with my friends in the winter because it's an excuse to make every hangout even cozier. I'm talking blankets out, fuzzy socks on, and White Claws in hand. There is nothing better than sitting by a fire with your friends, catching up all night long and never leaving the house. So pick up a pack from your favorite local spot and grab life by the claw with your favorite flavor this winter. Please drink responsibly. Hard seltzer with flavors. White Claw Seltzer Works, Chicago, Illinois. Not only are you guys husband and wife, but you're also collaborators and business partners. I want to ask about your new song, Roommates, which, it talks about losing the spark and intimacy in a relationship. What was it like working on this together?
One, he doesn't shy away from like heavy topics that are uncomfortable when it comes to songwriting. Of course, we're like a normal couple. So like I love that like opening line of the song is like, I can barely mention it without causing some ego trauma. And it's like, he's a man And they all are. And like, even if the tables were turned, like, it's hard to be in a relationship with someone and like call out something that's not working. If like for the most part it's good, but you're like, I feel really stuck right now. Like, I'm not feeling the way that I want this to feel or whatever. So it's like, it's hard because it feels like an attack. So like, it's just hard to have communication that is healthy, helps you get what you need or want without like bruising the other person. Especially in a family where like you're working overtime to make everyone's needs met and just make the household float, you know? And I don't want to always like relay it to a family because everybody gets in that. You know what I mean? Like anybody in a long-term relationship or even something that's like 6 months where it was like really sparky in the beginning starts to like life starts to feel normal and you're like, wait, I missed that thing.
Right. It's like it almost has somehow become like people get like shy or embarrassed to admit like, guys, everyone feels it when you're in a long-term relationship or again, like the honeymoon stage is over. I would say long-term relationship goes through a moment where there's a shift in intimacy, right? Yeah. And to actually maintain a healthy long-term relationship, you have to first acknowledge that's going to happen and not just like leave when it's not working. But then you also have to talk about it, which is the awkward part you're kind of saying, because like it is so uncomfortable to be like, can we talk about our sex life? And like one person is wanting it more, one person's wanting it less, or one person's initiating more. And like that's the most vulnerable, I think, one of the most vulnerable things that you can talk about with the partner.
I know.
But once you open the door to that conversation, it is life-changing.
Yeah.
And it doesn't, I don't mean it's like easy every time, but like, do you have advice going through this writing process, going through it together and talking this through for anyone who is like, how do you navigate those conversations and not have it lead to a fight or someone's feelings getting hurt?
It's just like being a healthy communicator and being able to like, I think one of the things I struggled with and where like roommates kind of came from was like, it wasn't even necessarily like his problem. I was having a hard time asking for what I needed or being like, being in a place where I was like, felt like I couldn't like share or like was like ashamed of the like needs that I had, you know? I think it's just being able to like be open and not like blame someone. Like communicating without blame is like it's like an art form.
Quite literally.
Yeah.
That's a great point. Yeah, it's almost like sometimes it has nothing to do with your partner. It's actually like all on you of like, this is something I've been thinking about. Yeah. And now I need to make sure that when I'm saying this, it's coming out in a way that's not, I wish you would, or it's actually like, I need and I want. And that starting from that place is such a healthier place to communicate it. So they're not immediately shut down and feeling backed into a corner like they're doing something wrong, which is beautiful.
Also, I think that women have like such intuition and such a, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, just, you're just in tune. You just know. And I remember calling his mom and being like, why doesn't he know? I know. And she's
every
like,
woman in the world, like, why don't you know? And they're like, I don't know. But if you tell me, I'll fix it.
Right. And it's so simple, but you're like, I don't want to have to tell you.
How don't you just know exactly what I'm feeling?
It's making more work for me to have to tell you.
And they're like,
but she literally, like, I forget what some of the Post-its would say, but she'd be like, babe, put a Post-it up and just remember, you gotta tell him. You gotta ask for what you need. You have to, whatever. I know. And then it made things so much better when I was like, stop, when I didn't expect him to just know.
Yeah. It's like we want them to be able to read our minds, but like they can't. And so once you just start communicating, it's so much easier.
But then you're already coming from a place of being annoyed that you're like, I've been suffering.
Right. It's like, I didn't even know that.
And you didn't notice?
They're like, no.
Yeah.
Talk. Yeah. Say something.
Yeah.
The lyrics also in the song reference porn and masturbating. And it was pretty crazy to see the way some of the internet responded.
I know.
People were like, some people were absolutely shocked and outraged that you were speaking about these things. How did it make you feel to see that some people really were still expecting you to present in this squeaky clean child star image that they watched you as a young girl have.
Well, I think that probably my initial reaction was like, oh, they just haven't like evolved yet, you know? And I don't care at all. One of the craziest comments that I saw was like, and do you do that in front of your children? And I was like, no. What? Are you okay? No, but guess what? Like, the song is meant to be polarizing. It's not meant to like be raunchy or like get attention because of what I'm saying. Like, it's a plea. And like, I think that's relatable to women. And so, you know, I have never given head in the back of a dive bar. Sadly, there's always time. But
it's gonna happen.
But you get to take like lyrical like liberties when you're writing a song and you're creating art. And it was important for me that the song felt like very polarizing, because that's how it feels in a moment of a lull in a relationship where you're just like, I need to sort this out. I need to get through this. I can't keep feeling this way. And yeah, so yeah, it was really wild to see some of I think for the most part, it was good. But then of course, like all the comments that stand out to you are the negative ones.
It's also funny because I feel like from the internet, what I saw was, at first it was all positive. And then as people like really started to dissect the lyrics and had like more time to sit on it, they're like, did she say masturbate? Did she say porn? And everyone's like, yeah. Hilary Duff said the word porn. And everyone's like, it's almost like just like the bandwagon. It's like so fun for them and easy to just like get on it and to be like, yeah, that's kind of crazy. What I also took from it.
Or like, do your kids sing that? Right, and I'm like, I'm not making music for my kids. Right. I'm not making music for 7-year-olds. I'm making music for myself. I'm making music for people like myself. Mm-hmm. So, you know, I was singing crazy lyrics when I was young too, that I had no idea what they meant. And if I was like, I'm not making a children's record.
Again, I think there's an image people have of you being a child star that that's like on them. It's not on you.
Yeah.
I also thought it was ironic that, you know, they're so shocked that you're singing about sex as an adult. But then when you rewind as a teenager, you had reporters asking you, have you lost your virginity? And are you sleeping around? So it's like, it's never, women can never win. It wasn't appropriate when you were underage that people were asking you these things. And now that you have autonomy and you're an adult, people are now so fixated on like, how dare you talk about sex? And it's like, wait.
What do you want from me?
She has 4 kids. Do you guys think that she doesn't have sex?
It was immaculate conception.
Yes.
Every time.
How though I'm curious, people having always something to say about you and your sexuality and whether it was your virginity or you're hooking up, and then now, like, how has that impacted your sexuality?
I don't think it like impacted my relationship with sex, but I think it's just been another one of those things that comes along with my career that I didn't really ask for, and I've had to learn how to just accept. But it was really hard as a young girl because I was like coined the good girl. And everybody was like, she's the good girl, she's the good girl. And like just having to label someone and then do everything they could to try to poke holes in that label or try to figure out anything they could that was like somewhat negative or bad. You know, it was like they were just trying to create stories. And it was hard to be like, one, okay, I've been labeled the good girl, like, but I'm also just normal, doing all the normal things that teenagers are doing. And trying to just kind of exist without accepting those things to be true about myself, maybe. Or having any sort of like privacy, I think was just like really hard. And yeah, I remember that time that person like asked me if I was a virgin, and I was like, I think also as a child actor, you're conditioned to like want to give people what they want, you know? So like answering something like that felt like really wild.
Wait, did you answer?
I don't remember. I just remember it being said, and it was like a stir of like publicists and like a crazy, just like so inappropriate.
Beyond.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That stuff I don't think flies anymore.
No.
But yeah, it was definitely in the middle of that like crazy press time where people would ask you whatever.
And that's why I'm so happy that you're taking your own liberty of like, I am going to talk about things in my life, and it's okay if everyone doesn't want to accept it, but don't just not accept it because of an image you have of me as a young girl, because that's actually just weird.
Yeah.
You have a song also called We Don't Talk, and you kind of basically say, don't know when it happened, not even sure what it was about, which is weirdly really relatable. I think it kind of seems like you're talking about, and correct me if I'm wrong, like when a relationship falls apart and when you have time away from it, you look back, you're like, wait, why did we lose touch, or how did that exactly go down? How do you approach those type of dynamics in your own life? Are you the person that will reach out, or do you kind of retreat and not try to mend something if it's broken?
I will reach out.
You do. Have you had to do that a lot in your life?
Yes.
Has it always felt like, oh, you made the right decision, or have you been kind of bitten in the ass ever?
I think I get bitten in the ass sometimes when it doesn't unfold the way that I was hoping. But I think that I think one thing that I appreciate about myself is that I will always try. And I always try to keep a heart open and a heart forward and try. And that as a 38-year-old who's navigated the industry since I was 9 years old makes me feel healthy, it's easy to get jaded and really rough around the edges. And I don't feel like I am.
Yeah. Obviously, you are a very public person, so people are constantly trying to dissect your lyrics. But a lot of people have been thinking that this could be about a family member of yours. How do you feel when you see those things online?
I think there was no way for me to make a record after 10 years and not dig into what those 10 years have looked like, and the big things that have happened and that affect me and that make me who I am. And unfortunately, a lot of that has been not great stuff. And that's life. It sucks that I'm not an adult coming out with an album that people don't know my story and all the players in it. People have known everybody in my life since I was on Lizzie McGuire. They know my mom, my sister, my dad. We have a small family. People are interested in that for some reason. And it's really sad, the kind of where we are right now. And scary to share it because of the internet. But important for me. I'm just saying how it feels for me. And that was something on the record I really tried to accomplish, is not placing blame anywhere. It takes a lot of people it takes everybody involved, for things to kind of be where they are. But I was just trying to talk about how it feels for me and reach people because it's real. And a lot of people share a similar story. And it's never easy to see people speculating on your life for clicks. But it's easier to tune the noise out with having the household that I have and that soft landing and that all the love and, I've created that family I'm so proud of. That makes all of the things that I've been through okay.
Yeah. When you put out songs like that, has it felt cathartic and kind of chapter close, or are you hoping it could maybe spark some type of reconciliation or conversation?
My purpose for making my record was for myself. And I think that like you always hope for something to be healthy again, you know, and something to be good again. But I don't know if like I don't know if me being honest and vulnerable will, you know, be met with openness or anger or what it could, you know, there's many different options there. And I think I had to just let go of an expectation and do what I wanted for me. And that's that, you know, it's a painful thing to talk about. Yeah.
It kind of reminds me almost of like you earlier in the interview said, God, I do love doing this so much, but I do love my life and the privacy. And it's almost like,
well, I don't know if you've noticed, but like even since I started like being more like forward facing with my music, like the internet is like a buzz with like everything they can possibly dig up. So it's
a lot.
Very strange.
I have a list of things and I'm like, shit, like you've been a hot topic of conversation, Miss Duff. Like you have been, I'm like, okay, so we go through the family thing now. One of literally the noisiest things on the internet. That's why I have to ask, just because it's been so freaking noisy. It's been everywhere. Is an article was written about a toxic mom group and it literally took the internet by storm and every single person was talking about it. And then through speculation and then people connecting the dots, like it kind of was.
I don't really think people had to connect very many dots.
It took like a day, not even.
Right.
How did you feel when it came out and when you read it?
I felt really sad. I honestly felt really sad. I was like pretty taken aback and felt just like sad. Like I have so many groups of friends. I'm so lucky. Motherhood has brought on like I have my like core group of friends who have been my ride or dies for 20 years, 10 to 20 years. And I have like tons of different groups of mom friends because I have 4 kids, you know? So I think I just was like, whoa, it sucks to read something that's like not true. And it sucks on behalf of like 6 women in all of their lives.
Then the pot got stirred a little bit more. Our boy Matthew posted an Instagram story kind of then addressing back to it. Did you know he was going to post this?
No.
How did you feel when you opened your phone and hubby had chimed in?
Honestly, everything he does makes me laugh. So I was like, oh my God. Oh my God. But I also don't censor him and I don't tell him what he can and can't post. He is so like fierce for me. And like, I love him for that.
Is there anything on that you want to clarify? Because obviously all the rumors and everything, and like you have been in the center of it. Like, is there anything else you want to just like clarify on that topic?
No.
Okay.
I think it came at like the craziest time where I was like, the timing felt not great. And I felt used.
Like, would this have happened had you not had your big resurgence and everything going on with you? Okay. Moving on. Okay, like we've talked about, 10 years since you released an album. So I'm curious, if you were to picture your dream life 10 years from now, what would it look like?
Whoa. Cool. Okay, anytime I look into the future, I like to think about Thanksgiving.
Love.
And like what the table looks like.
Are you hosting?
Always.
Okay, 10 years. It's November. You're hosting.
Yeah.
What does it look like?
Like my kids have their like boyfriend or girlfriend there, or like bestie, or what? Like it's just full. The table's full. The seats are full. We're gonna play like some dumb game later. We're drinking wine. Like it's just, you know, everyone's there. And so I would like to have toured the world maybe twice. Probably made another record. and like figured out a way to juggle like having this and also having home life still be like, I can't, it's so fun to watch my kids grow up. Like, it's just the best thing ever. I love having babies, and it's really hard to think about not having a baby in the house anymore. But like, as they grow, they just get so cool. So I think I just hope to continue having the relationship that I have with my kids and the home life that I have. Yeah. But like, I think I'll work forever. Everyone's always like, what about the Lizzie McGuire reboot? And I'm like, it's not interesting to me at like 40. It was interesting to me at like 30, but like, maybe it's interesting at like 55 or 60. You know, like, I don't know, maybe I'm doing that.
Listen, none of us are going to be mad at you. We're like, we're ready whenever you're ready. We're like, we'll be seated.
Also, I would love to have more time to just like do the things I want with Matt. Like, we get very little time.
Prioritize your relationship.
Yeah. Okay. We talk about that a lot.
Well, if I see you in 10 years, I'm going to be like, did you do these things?
What are you guys doing?
I interview you like the day after Thanksgiving. 10 years from now, we'll put on the books. How, if you have any, could you share some advice on, I know you can't do it all, but we are sitting here and like, you've had such a successful career. Mm-hmm. You are continuing to have such a successful career, and you have 4 kids. And I think there's probably a lot of women that are looking at you being like, it does kind of seem like you have it all and you're doing it all. And like, do you have any advice to women who maybe want to get back into work, but are afraid how you manage that with the kids and all of it?
One, I think that was like a huge why for making this record. Was to inspire. I know people aren't pop stars. Not everybody gets to be a pop star, and I'm like eternally grateful that for some reason this was my position in life. But I do hope that it inspires moms to get outside of their household a little bit and like find the thing that they love if they've lost it. I think it's so important to not be there for your kids every waking moment. I think it's so important for them to have like wins and losses out in the world alone that you're not like privy for everything. And that like breaks my heart to say, because I like love to be there for all of their things. But like, I think it's healthy. And I've learned that with having 4 kids, because you obviously can't be everywhere all at once. And you just have to be like, okay, I was there for that thing that day. I'm choosing this thing this day. And I've got, you know, it's like, you got to make those choices. But I feel like my kids are stronger because of it. And I never want them to feel guilty for growing up and like leaving me behind. I don't. I want to be okay with like.
That is like made me like sad and happy at the same time. That almost made me cry. That's really.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I think that if you are, like, don't find yourself and stay true to like some of your needs, you know, then like they eventually leave and you want them to leave and be okay, you know?
Like, I don't have kids yet, but that's like a big fear of mine, right? I think so many women are probably watching right now because it's like, you don't want to lose yourself.
Yeah.
But then the guilt of like leaving them, and it's like, it's so ever present for women, whether they're in the middle of it or they're expecting to go through it. So to hear you be like, guys, I'm actually living it, and like, you gotta let them go.
Yeah, you do.
And don't let yourself.
And then the other thing that I like want to set straight a little bit is like, you can't have it all. You just can't. You can try and you can have a lot of the things that you want, but you're going to miss stuff, you know, and you're going to have to make choices. And I feel so incredibly grateful for everybody behind the scenes of my life right now, helping me achieve this. It is like, I have nannies and an assistant and like hair and makeup people keeping me looking, you know, not like how I look when I wake up in the morning, and my husband and a label and a huge machine behind me that's like making this. Megan Trainor texted me the other day and she's like, babe, this rollout has been flawless. Are you okay? And I'm like, and I have so much help, but it's like still so much, you know, it's just like a crazy, you don't see what goes on behind the scenes because it all looks so shiny, and it's like, has to, I guess. But like, it's really hard, and everyone's taken sacrifices for it, you know, including my kids.
No, I appreciate you saying that, because I think you're right. It's like, your life does look like a dream right now. And it's like you're shiny and sparkly and gorgeous and all of it. And it's like, no, to the women out there, like, yes, I'm living my dream, but it comes at a cost and it's hard.
Comes at a huge cost.
Yeah.
Being in the industry comes with a huge cost. And it's so hard to complain when your life looks shiny and you have money, you know?
Completely. But I also appreciate you just letting us into, because it's like, again, I think we compare ourselves to women we see online, because I'm like, okay, so she's got 4 kids and she's able to do this. And then you're like, guys, no. Like, only because I have a crew and a team and assistants and this. And it's like breaking that barrier and that wall, I think also helps women who maybe are doing it as a single mom alone, who can't afford the assistant. It's like, you've got the hardest job and we bow down to you. Seriously.
Bow down to them.
Okay, last question. Your fans have stuck by your side for decades. What do you hope you're able to connect with them over in this new era that you're presenting to the world?
One, I just want to say I'm eternally grateful for them. I would not have a music career without them. I was not like accepted by the music industry by any stretch of the imagination. They were rabid for me and my music. And like, I was, of course, Lizzie McGuire being that launching pad and them like loving me from that. I'm so grateful. Of course, I had my feelings of having to like accept that part of my life, but I'm so like, I love her now too. And I connect and I get it, you know? But like, when I got into music, the fans, like, I was, you know, doing like arenas and stuff like that was, and I didn't really have a ton of radio play, and I didn't have like, it just wasn't a thing yet that like actors could just become musicians. Like, I'm just so appreciative that like my music connected with people and like had legs for 20 years. And then I get to be at a point now in my life where I can like see what it meant to them and to me. And then just getting to like not be shy about like, I'm not reintroducing myself at all. I think I just needed like a second to like live some life, and like they lived a whole bunch of life, and now we get to like connect as adults and talk about what the hell that's like.
Thank you so much for opening up today. I know we went on like a winding journey.
Oh, really? We were in the canyon, babe.
We went everywhere and more. And I think again, like having had you take a break for a while, coming back, like it's so fun to hear about your adult life. I know we did nostalgia, but like I really appreciate you sharing more about what's been going on recently, because it is so informative to this album, and I'm so excited for everyone to hear it and to embrace it with open arms and not look at you as this child star, but this woman who has this beautiful family and a career, and that is beyond relatable to my audience for sure. So thank you for opening up and letting us have a little glimpse into your life and everything that's inspired this amazing album.
Thank you.
Hilary Duff, thank you for coming on Call Her Daddy.